Hot News Street. Louis P0, already a subscriber? Or copyright 2019 Lee Enterprises. Generally cloudy. High near 30, partly cloudy skies. Very cold. Updated January 24, 2019 at 2:15 p.m. A bit of a police tape remains on Thursday, January 24, 2019, as evidence of a shooting at home in the 700 block of Dover Place Where a street. Louis police flags fly at half-staff in front of the street. Louis police officer Ki11ed Alex is shown front row, center in a photo of her January 2017 graduating class from the street. Louis police officer Ki11ed Alex in a photo from her graduation from the street. Louis police a bit of a police tape remains on Thursday, January 24, 2019, as evidence of a shooting at home in the 700 block of Dover Place Where a street. Louis police officer Ki11ed Alex is shown front row, center in a photo of her January 2017 graduating class from the street. Louis police update date 11:40 a.m. with name of officer killed in early morning incident. An off-duty street. Louis police the officer, 24-year-old Ki11ed Alex, was in the living room of another officer who was on duty but at the home just before 1 a.m. when he mishandled Officer Ki11ed Alex in a photo from her graduation from the street. Louis Police Chief John Hayden said two male officers who were on duty went to one of their homes during their shift. The officers then rushed Alex to the hospital, calling in to police dispatch to report the shooting as they drove. Alex was pronounced she was killed with a revolver, not a department weapon, according to a police source. Alex and a gun was recovered by investigators at the scene. There was no word on all. Street. Louis Circuit Attorney Hayden meanwhile praised Alex in a statement released to the media. Officer Alex was an enthusiastic and energetic young woman with a bright future ahead of her. Alex joined the street. Louis police she is survived by her husband, mother, father, and sister, the department said. The shooting happened inside a home in the 700 block of Dover Place where blood still stained the steps on Thursday morning. A neighbor told the Post-Dispatch she heard a gunshot just before 1 a.m. and then someone yelling, "Oh!" The neighbor, who didn't want her name used, said she went to the window and saw a male officer in uniform. He was speaking to. Another neighbor said on Twitter that she heard loud yelling that got her out of bed during the night. She also heard reached by the Post-Dispatch. She said she had spoken to investigators, but said she didn't want to speak to a reporter beyond confirming her account on Twitter, for fear of jeopardizing the investigation. An officer. Police released Alex's name and some additional details about the shooting about 11:30. Alex had graduated from St. Charles Community. The officer who shot Alex has been on the force about a year. The other on duty. Flags fly at half-staff in front of the street. Louis police off the street. Louis police off, but Mayor Lyda Crewson expressed her sympathy to the officer's family and friends on Twitter. Terribly sad blessings to her family, friends, and the entire SLMPD community. Street. Lewis County we are sorry for your loss and here when you need us. Christine Byers is a reporter for the street. Louis Post email notifications are only sent once a day, and only if there are new matching items. Leah Thorson is a regional reporter for the street. Louis Post email notifications are only sent once a day, and only if there are new matching items. Get breaking news delivered to your inbox as it develops.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park.